Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back. Please take your seats because class is about to begin. And I am going to teach you how to build cohesion in your life from all the chaos. And I have been out of the loop for maybe about a week, but I had posted 4 videos from my other channel. So if you watched the previous videos to this one, and I was saying welcome back to As the Crow Flies 144, that's because I had originally recorded them for my other channel, but I knew I was going to be busy and I want to treat this channel more professionally to where I am posting every single day. So instead of just posting my videos when I make them, I'm trying to schedule them out so they are appearing every day. And that is how you can create channel growth, because this channel I am not handing out to people directly, which is what I was doing for the other channel. It was kind of being made for the people who know me, but who I don't get to talk to and keep updated on a regular basis because I've moved around a lot in my life, and I kind of stay quiet when I'm like with my family in my own home or in my own job. I I tend to be very focused on that thing. So when I'm in the outer world, I don't share my energy a lot with others. That's why I've always been turned off by extroversion, because I understand why it's beneficial, because we as humans are communal people, okay? So we need each other because that's where we feel safest. That's where we feel bonded, and that's where we feel a commonality between us. But out there in the crazy world where we're all doing different things and we're fractured up into all these different belief structures and different things that we like, different styles of clothing and music and specialties and jobs and all this stuff, that world was sort of set up to separate us, okay? To feel like there's elite people in certain categories and you can only go to them for the knowledge or the services that you need, okay? Like if your car breaks down, you have to go to a mechanic. Nobody knows how to, I mean, it's not that nobody knows how to work on their own cars. There's plenty of people who do, but they keep specializing individualized fields to like break us further and further apart, okay? So we still have this need to be in commune with each other, which is why we have things like churches and bars and restaurants. These are places that we still gather for that feeling of camaraderie, even though we're not really living like communal tribal people who would be in a natural environment where we don't have all these man-made structures. So let me just take a pause. Okay. I'll be right back. If you tune in with me on a regular basis, you're going to see that I have a very objective viewpoint. I have a wider lens of reference. Okay. When I'm like looking at this world and making connections between our problems and our solutions, and how these same problems and solutions have constantly cycled through time, no matter where we are. And because we get so caught up in our own personal worlds of like things that stress us out, because we have to be stressed out to pay our bills and be responsible. If you're going to be responsible in this modern day world, you should feel stressed out. Okay. That is a natural reaction to the world that we live in. But in truth, stress is the most detrimental feeling that you can have. And just look around at everything and everybody around you. We look like reflections of a stressed out people. Okay. And that's what we feel inside. We're just constantly looking for some reprieve, which is kind of like where economics started, this idea of consumerism. And that started with industrialization, and then wars started and all these other things. It's like all these things that we have to distract us from the ugliness of what's really going on in the world. It was built into our society as sort of a healing mechanism, though it's not truly healing. It creates more of an addiction than it does healing. But it's like it is the balanced answer to when things are way out of balance. Okay. War is not balance. That is not a good thing. So I just want you to think about like the roaring 20s and then the Great Depression. There's just these really oppositional swings in balance that create huge turning points in history that you don't see because it happens on a daily basis. It happens incrementally. The importance of recognizing this is that when you start to feel angry and caged inside and frustrated and angry with the people around you and judgmental of the people around you, It really is. It's just sort of this like projection because of how you feel inside. And this is where you can find a place of inner peace when it comes to people projecting things at you. And it also really allows you to understand them a whole lot better. It takes the energy out of your like anger and frustration for them, and it allows you to read clearly how they feel inside. Okay. And then when we get to learn communication better because we learn emotions better, then communication can come more honestly without us feeling vulnerable in it. Okay. We could all compliment each other all day. We could all pick up garbage off the street. We could all make this world a better place around us. But we feel so vulnerable when we do those things. You almost feel like a nerd when you do those things. Okay. I promise you, I can speak for you for the things that you feel inside, but you don't know how to verbalize. It's because I feel all those same things, but I've spent so many years in silence because I've been trying to figure out what these feelings are and then how to communicate them with others because I cannot stand explaining myself. Okay. I know exactly who I am. I know exactly why I am the way I am. And so do you. And you don't know how to verbalize that because you have to create the conversation for it. It's almost like you have to create a new language. And a lot of what I'm going to be speaking about and teaching from is um, sort of the construct and the idea behind language. Okay. And I'm going to prove it that I'm going to try to prove something to you today that you do not even understand your own language. Okay. Because it has changed throughout history so that we could make it easier because we do not like to think in complex ways. We do not like to have to be challenged in the way that we turn images in our mind into words in our environments, communicate with others, and then to see, hopefully, do you even understand what I'm saying? Because we have some sort of basis of foundational understanding, right? And that usually only happens like if we're from the same culture or if somehow we group up into the same likes, um, because we like the same music or we play the same games. There's all these different things. So I am going to help you to learn how to communicate better without saying a word because you're going to learn from your feelings, okay? And your feelings are going to be the thing. It's mainly fear, okay? Fear is this, it's the feeling of knowing that you are supposed to do something, but you do not know what the outcome of that thing is going to be. So you hesitate in moving forward to it, okay? Fear is one of the greatest feelings that we can all have gratitude for. And once you start to get used to that and you start to feel fear and you face it, then eventually you start welcoming it because you know that it's telling you what you need to do today or in this moment because it changes from moment to moment. So that's why it can be wasteful to spend your time making plans. I'm not saying not to make plans because I'm a Capricorn and I am a huge planner. Okay. I'm also a single mother of four. And even during the times that I was married, I still very much had to make a lot of the plans because the life that we were living was really because I was getting to do what I wanted. It was like I've explained it in past videos and I will explain it in the future as it's relevant. But if it's not like really relevant to the context of what we're talking about, then it's just going to spin out into other stories. Um, and that's not the best use of time here. I try to speak in an efficient way so that you understand what I'm saying the first time. Okay. And then if I realize that something isn't as clear as I want it to, I sort of go along and self-edit in the process, and explain it in a better way. But I'm really good at linking metaphors to what I'm talking about. So, what I am going to do today, for starters, I mean, the energy is like popping off today. We were in really stagnant energy for the past 5 years, and the pressure has been forced down on us in the past couple of months. And I think that you will be able to relate with me when I say that things are changing, and they are changing rapidly right now. Rapidamente, okay? It's like super fast. So I am going to read the Constitution because what I want you to understand is that the reason why I am so drawn to music and poetry and art and other languages is because these are all forms of finding other ways to express meaning in this world. And what we have done with English is we've made it so boring. Okay. The term romance languages, and you know what you think about. You think about like Europe and it's beautiful, and you think of like Paris and Italy and Spain, all these places that seem like they're living a much more romantic way of life, a more compassionate way of life, where people matter and spending time together matters and food matters. It's not like this fast-paced world where we have these huge grocery stores and fast food. It's not, we're not healthy. And every time I have a friend that goes to Europe and they come back and tell me what it's like, you know, you almost are heartbroken when you get back here because you realize what true love is in an environmental way, in a communal way, when you go to those places and you get to eat the food that you love and it doesn't freaking make you sick. That's because they're making that food with love and responsibility. They are not industrial farming. Okay. So we can't all just up and move to wherever we want to go, but I am trying to create the beauty of all of the cultures that I learned from in my own world so we can do it from here. And I'm trying to expand that on the internet. I'm trying to create a ripple effect so that you feel like you have permission in your own life to just smile at people, go out there, pick up a piece of garbage, make this world a better place. And you are going to see that you start using your English language in a more expansive way, or not at all, because you're just communicating through smiling or through like holding a door open for somebody. Okay. These are like the easiest forms of communication that you do not need language to utilize. So I just want to teach you that because I want you to smile today. Okay. And like, if I'm the cause of it, then I'm doing the right thing. You are lighting me up inside if you will listen to what I'm saying and actually try to practice it for yourself. Okay. Because I want you to see the beauty that I get to see when you look through my eyes, even though I'm in like a shitstorm of like poverty and problems and all these other things. It's like I do not resonate with all the problems that I've been through because I've been the same me on the inside as I will always be. And I know that I can thrive in any environment. So I just got to see like what the worst of the worst is. So I never get stressed out anymore. When you're in real stressful situations, you do not have time to be stressed out. You only have time to act and act. You will only act in like the program that you already have blueprinted in you. Okay. So because I've always been sort of a fighter, and a little bit aggressive in my nature. It's not that I'm like out there yelling at people or anything, but the way that I speak is a little bit abrasive, almost as if I am yelling at somebody. Okay. And like, I do know how to speak softly too, but sometimes if you watch foreigners having a conversation, like I've learned Arabic and I grew up in an Italian family. And when you watch other people whose language you don't understand in conversation, it's almost like other cultures speak way more aggressively to each other. So you can't tell if they're like fighting or friends. Okay. And that's just like how I was raised up. So that's very much how I communicate. And it works well in the situation that I'm in because I'm a mother and because I've been a leader of male soldiers in a war environment, okay? In a combat environment. And just even normally, like in the States or like on the I don't know, what do we call it? Stateside mission or whatever, non-combat environment. Okay. It's like I had to learn how to communicate concisely and oh man. Okay. Obviously I can't do it right now, but I'm just saying that I want I love efficient communication and I love efficient action. And so that's what I want to spread more of. I love critical thinking. Okay. I love it. It's like math problems. I really love math and I really love science because they speak universal languages. So does music, right? Music is the basis of like all math and wave functions and like it's just incredible. So I am going to teach you all those things, but specifically today, what I want to teach you about for all you English speakers out there, and especially if you are in America, I am going to read you the Constitution, or what is it? The Declaration of Independence, and I am going to read through the lyrics of Rage Against the Machine song because I want you to understand that both of these things are in English. Okay. So if you speak English, you should completely understand them. But what you're going to find, because what I find is that when I read these things or when I actually look up the lyrics of the songs that I've been like singing along to for years, I definitely didn't know all the words. And I think that's how we all are. So that's why I want to form a cover band where I can more clearly like enunciate the words and do it like karaoke, where I have the words like streaming on the screen so you can follow along with me. So you finally know what these songs were all about. You need to know why the writer of the song wrote it so you can understand their emotions. Okay, when you start to understand people's emotions, then you understand that we are all the same. We're all the same. Okay, and that's what teaches compassion and creates world peace, which I don't care if it sounds nerdy and like existential and impossible. It's fucking not. It's so simple. Okay, and you guys will all love it. So I'm gonna cut off now. Sorry, there was a fluffy flying through the air. Yeah, I'm going to take a pause now, and then I'm going to come back on with the Declaration of Independence, and I will find the lyrics for the song that I was listening to. Okay? All right. It's good to be back on here. I'm looking forward to interaction. This channel is like growing slowly but surely, and I love it because I'm going to start talking about things that we're going to take our paths might diverge here. Okay, it's going to like I might lose some of the people who initially caught on to the channel, but it's going to gain a following of people who really understand what I'm saying, and they're looking for this information to be reflected back at them because they're feeling it inside. They've always known it, and that's what tarot readings are for. So I am going to do a tarot reading today because like I said, the energy is wild and it wants to be communicated. Okay, and you're going to see that tarot is nothing more than a symbolic thing that we can look at so I can validate through these cards the things that you are already feeling inside, okay? The only thing that's real are your feelings. So if the tarot cards don't speak to you, then you shouldn't watch that kind of stuff, okay? Or if the content that I'm saying, speaking upon, if you don't understand it yet, you will in time. What I'm going to try to do is only release as much information as I think can be metabolized in one thought. So it's almost like I'm giving you soup for the soul, like something like meditation, contemplation. Okay. I'm just trying to give you an idea. You know, like how they say if a tree fell in the woods, but no one was there to hear it, would it make a sound? Like when people ask that, I think a lot of people just ponder that like it's not supposed to have an answer. For me, the first time I heard it, I was like, well, hell no, it can't make a sound. Nobody's there to hear it, right? So it's like the sound vibrates out into the ether. But if it doesn't have an eardrum to bounce back off of, then it doesn't, that electrical frequency that turns it into something in your brain, like, oh, that's the sound of a tree falling. It can't happen. Okay. So I'm trying to introduce to you these concepts, how they actually have answers. These just aren't like theoretical questions with no answer. I'm trying to teach you critical thinking. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it off at that. I feel like it's time to pause, or I'm just going to keep blah blahing about everything. I love you. I'll see you back.